There we go. Okay, so we've gone through, we filled in all these links with positive space, basically to separate them from the backgrounds and fill in the lines. And now we're going to do a little quality control, but basically inverting the contrast so that the background is now white, and now link, those fills will be dark. And what will happen is all the little gaps that I might have missed, those will light up like a Christmas tree. Okay, so not so bad here. Just a little bit around the edges. And the strategy here is to be accurate, sort of scrutinizing, detail oriented at this point, so I don't have to be later. Think about one problem at a time as the drawing develops, even though some of what we're doing is a little bit out of order. You can see, if I zoom in, all the little spots I missed. And if there's spots that I miss at this stage, they're just really not that noticeable. But this helps make sure that everything that is obvious that I should have caught gets caught. Looks good. And it won't make for a very entertaining stream, but it's part of the process. And overall, it shouldn't take too long. If I move swiftly enough, I can just probably get all this phase done. And then get back to drawing more stuff. And the backgrounds and the monsters themselves. Normally I wouldn't do any fills until all the lines were done. But I've done a little bit of a shake-up in my process in order to hedge against some possibilities that could happen. Ultimately, it's due to the fact that this isn't something that has a specific deadline. And it's like a R&D project, almost. There's an opportunity here for me to try different things and learn what might work slightly better. I can iterate on my own process. Discover something that I might be surprised that, hey, that worked. And if it worked here, maybe it can work elsewhere too. Here we can see all sorts of little gaps that I missed. The drawing that looked perfectly well filled in before was not. Great. Got that little bug going on now. Wait, no. Went away for a second. What happened there? What's going on? Been having some technical difficulties as well. That is also kind of a good reason for me not to try to be drawing too much. Maybe if I'm just focusing on one thing at a time, I can troubleshoot a little bit what's exactly happening. I don't even know what just happened there. It's been a frustrating aspect of my career is bugs that seem to just come and go and not having any control over what fixes anything. And if I do fix it, I don't remember what I did to fix it. I'm just so happy it's gone. I've been hired to, more or less hired to do a lecture in front of a bunch of professionals next month, and I'll be doing a live demo as well. It's not unlike what I do on the stream, but confident in everything except my system's ability to perform flawlessly. That is not, unfortunately, something I can guarantee. Not at this point, at least. We'll see. So one thing I've done recently, like yesterday morning, before my last stream, I updated the system software to the latest Mac OS, and now I'm also running the latest Wacom drivers. And updating both of those things at the same time is risky. Two fresh drivers, not historically known for always being the best of playmates. So it's a little harrowing for me to be forced to do something like that, but I was frustrated and pushed to the edge of reason. Yeah, I was a little desperate. It's like, will this work? Will something work? It's amazing the amount of aggravation that a small bug can cause when it just won't go away. And these things can go away. It's just they require, the medicine is painful. You have to reset drivers, you have to do clean installs. It's like the cure is worse than the disease, and like the last thing you want to do is take time out of your work day. Say, oh, this deadline? Yeah, we'll just make up excuses so that we can troubleshoot something. No guarantees that you'll fix it at all. Fairly mindless task, but also not unpleasant. there are sometimes real opportunities to correct a silhouette, as this sort of you see the silhouettes here so much easier. Is that a cool? Is that a better look for? Previous sword, or the master sword. Does that look straight? I don't need it to be perfect, but I don't want it to catch the eye unnecessarily. Up here. And it's exciting to know that the next time we see these links, we will be, well, the next time we be touching them, they will be being fully shaded and rendered, basically. Not in color. I don't know about that, but make them look as nice as we can in black and white. What happened there was I forgot to lock off the pixels, so that fill, that bucket fill, applied to the entire canvas and not just to the previous fill and link. This one's gonna be my favorite, I think. I hope so. I hope I have the skill to pull it off. Sometimes the errors that you see are just a function of the resolution that you're working at, or the how zoomed in you are. How do you define the perfect edge? It's like a losing proposition. The more you zoom in, the more things you'd see that could be fixed and adjusted. It's a waste of time. %99 is as good as 100 in this case. Made good progress here so far. Huh. Yeah, this one you can see I did not do that well. Like all of this would have been a problem. Or maybe not obviously a problem, but I would have been frustrated where effects that I was attempting to make felt they were not applied where I expected them to be. It's almost like I'm creating stencils, because later on in my process, it'll be evident I make prodigious use of gradients and airbrushing techniques that sort of pre-carved out stencil is essential for. It's a time-saving tool. You just keep the art effects where you want them to be and not elsewhere. It really helps preserve the silhouettes, which really help the drawing read. Thinking foremost about how a drawing reads is a great mindset to get in. Creating a great composition. Okay, this is looking good. Yeah. Okay, let's close this. you can see here where those effects get nicely. What happened here? What is that? It's like, how did I mess that up? Okay, some of these fills were already nicely applied. They look good. These ones were not double checked, so this is what we're doing right now. We can start at the bottom. Set this to bright white. Fill link nice and dark. Right here I can see that the shield I have strapped to Link's back is sort of spoiling his silhouette just a little bit. And for that matter, so is his hat. And so what I'll do in the final is I'll seek to make separations that make it less like those are contributing huge chunks of form to a silhouette. They can feel like they are separated, even though here they're unified. And by means of demonstration, sort of like this. Might read like that. Justifying a little bit of atmospheric perspective. Help break that up a little bit. Down the road. And stuff like that happens. What was that? Why did that happen? I didn't do anything. So what did it? Really odd. As far as I can tell, that's a painter bug. It doesn't happen in any of my other programs or drawing programs. It just loses focus, like something else in the system steals it. But it only ever seems to happen when I'm doing painter. It's just a bad program. That I can't seem to stop using. Do you want to see a close-up? I need a stretch break anyway. These are lovely. I painted these for my wife. I mean, they're digital, but they're nicely printed and framed, obviously. This one is Sir Hugh. These are my cats as Elizabethan nobility. And this is Lady Emily. She was a beautiful cat. They are unfortunately both passed away. Welcome to the stream, stranger, but it's a little boring this morning. I'm just trying to get some of this busy work done. I am whining. I'm a little bitch. The painter is a bit trashy, but it has specific tools that are more or less part of my central nervous system at this point. So I'm gonna have a hard time transferring to any other program and identifying what that might be that could work better is going to be a stretch until they port Procreate over to the Mac, as in the desktop. I'm gonna be sticking with Painter, I feel, because Photoshop, which I also have, is full of problems itself, and was so even before they started dumping a bunch of AI bullshit into it. Like what parts of Painter are good that I keep. The brushes are better. I mean, I use custom brushes that are just specific to my workflow. They're speedy, they're versatile. That's about it. Other than having brushes that I can't seem to replicate in another program. They're on a shop somewhere. They're not on a shop somewhere. As far as like for sale, I'm not selling them. Yeah, no sales here. Only whining. No, I don't disseminate my brushes. Ooh, are we done? No, we're not done. Here we go. Look how cool this is. Have you been to the stream before? Do you know what I'm even doing? Not an accusation. You're invited to stick around for a second if you aren't aware. I'm doing, well, it's fan art, but it's really spec art of Zelda storyboards. More people. Hi. Is it because it's later in the morning now and people are awake, or are you all in a different country? It's quasi fan art because I'm also a storyboard artist for video game trailers and entertainment in general. And if I can, I'd love to work on the Zelda movie. And then this is just okay. It is a bank holiday where it's Memorial Day here in Los Angeles. Yeah, I get paid money to draw this shit for real. So, except not this. I'm not getting paid money to draw this. This is my labor of love, and it just felt like a good, like a high odds sort of treatment into the streaming realm, because I'm new to streaming, in case that's not clear. Right now I'm trying to figure out what, okay, that's that. Imagine getting paid. Well, I'd like to imagine I was getting paid to draw this, but I mean, I suppose I should really activate those monetizings and things like that. I don't know. Confirm it. Is art stable and profitable job? For me, it is. Whether or not it's evident in these drawings, I'm very proficient in what I do, and generally in high demand. Right now the industry is in a serious contraction, and not just in entertainment. It's also in video games, which is like another arm of the work that I do. And so, yes, there is work, but the work only goes to like the best people. It's definitely true that I've been doing okay. I'm happy enough to be getting along with what I have been getting compared to a lot of other colleagues and friends. It's been a real struggle. I know people who haven't worked in almost a year. I can't imagine that. I'm nervous right now because I'm not booked tomorrow, whereas normally I would have the next 2 weeks booked up. So that's a little nervous, but I also know that the people that know me and use me are on projects that are the hardest of the hard projects. Stuff that AI just can't fix, stuff that you can't just hire the cheapest guy available to do. And that work will be there in little bits or big chunks. I just have to do something else in the meantime to stay sane. So this also helps with that. It helps me feel like if I'm not busy on a given day, I can work on this and feel like I'm not wasting my skills or getting slow. It's not so much the, I'm getting paid because I can afford to draw cat portraits for my wife. What happened was in October. Maybe it was my own damn fault, but, well, we had good reason to go on vacation. We were celebrating something seriously important, but we took some time off, went on vacation, and when I came back, work was entirely dead for me. And that's the first time that's happened in like 13 years. And I couldn't explain it. A project that I was supposed to be on, which was a video game trailer for Apex Legends, they moved on without me, which was a little bit of a blow to my ego. And soon enough, work picked up on other projects, and it was fine. But what was unfortunate was I had banked on that job being available, and when it went away and I couldn't explain it, it was rude. At least I told that to myself. And, and it was more than anything probably a budget issue because I'm not cheap, but who knows if there was something else, I tried to be as charming and nice as possible, but maybe people got sick of me. Who knows? Imagine getting sick of me. Imagine not loving seeing my beautiful face and beautiful drawings every day. Whatever the reason, they did move on, and I was forced to look and examine whether or not I could have been managing my own source of demand better, because I had basically been coasting on my reputation for nearly 20 years. I called around. I called directors, and I was like, hey, anything going on? And they'd be like, oh, dude, you're my first call. There's just nothing here. And it wasn't just me. It was dead everywhere. And I was realizing it's like, if I don't have an audience outside of the industry, then I don't have an audience. And almost more so than the money, like I just care about having something to work on and feeling like I'm contributing to something, advancing the ball on something. The fact that I felt so useless at the time was killing me. It was destroying my mind. And my brother is a streamer. He goes by Boxer419, and he's quite handsome too, so you should follow him. But and he does like video game streaming and stuff, and he's quite popular. But this was something that he encouraged me to try. He gave me this microphone. How much would a commercial for my up and coming game, like a trailer for it? You have an indie game. What is your indie game? In all honesty, if you didn't have a deadline, I could probably take the job. What is the I mean, if your budget is like a few $100, you're not going to get a ton of work, but you're going to get something. So, but you'd have to have like a budget of, I don't know. For context's sake, like an Apex trailer would normally, like the ones they've been doing recently, could be anything from 2 to 4 weeks, and my day rate is $900 a day. So it's not chump change. It's now that would be not necessarily applicable to every single job. Some jobs I can execute quite quickly. Yeah, so that's that rate. But that's got other factors in it, like my agent takes a commission out of that as well. So, you know, I'm kind of flexible, especially if you don't have a deadline. But, you know, I'm not necessarily the best person for your job either. You know, you could hunt around a bit. But if you like what you see here and you can see that I know what I'm doing, you know, we can chat. This is literally probably why I'm doing this. Part of it is also just a fun diversion, keep my skills sharp, and I really actually appreciate... I thought Twitch was going to be way more toxic. I don't know why, but it seemed like it might be from all the stuff you hear in the news. It's not been my experience yet, but like I said, this is a small stream. I'm really just getting started. Yeah, there's no drama here. Let's see here. My problem is when I stop getting commissions, I felt worse. I don't feel very motivated to do art for myself. Oh, are there real artists in my chat right now? That's awesome. I don't feel very motivated to do art for myself. It's a work in progress, trying to get motivated to create something for me or a project of mine. This is very much the case for me. I have not had... So this is like the... Aside from these lovely portraits of my cats that I did for my wife, there are very few projects I've worked on in my career that are personal. The demand on my professional schedule was always significant enough to override and basically take away, like steal in advance, all my energy. I was selling it for dollars, you know, and, you know, hey, I make a living, that's good. But when I was confounded with like, okay, what if I had to do something myself, for myself, you know, for an audience, what am I going to do? And I was like, I actually don't have any ideas, but that'll change, you know, I need to get into that mindset. I've been part of being able to take direction is a little bit of that, you know, you have to have a little bit of submissiveness. Like, you can't just be like, no, I'm in charge and here's all the ideas that are good. You have to be able to receive and incorporate. So there's a lot of malleability. More wannabe artist. Started trying again, deal with my postpartum during COVID times. Okay. It's so my heart goes out to you. I know it's very difficult. All of pregnancy and child rearing is difficult. I have two children myself, and they're young. And yeah, we've been through some shit too. So I don't know if art is the cure for depression. I'm sorry to say, but I do draw satisfaction from having more, like if you were streaming and getting positive results from that, like to me, it's been helpful for me to have an audience again, whereas where I used to go to studios every day and I would draw, and these people were not necessarily my audience, but there were people who could walk by in the hallway and peek over my shoulder and be like, whoa, that looks so cool. You know, what's your name? What do you do? Like, this is awesome. Can I get your card? I loved that. That was awesome. And ever since COVID, it just doesn't happen anymore. I'm never asked to go on site. And I tell people, I'm like, hey, you got a studio, I'll come in, I'll set up, I'll do the thing. And they're just sort of like, yeah, we have a studio, but no one's there, you know. You can go in if you want. I'll be like, okay, I'll just go in. You know, I'll go in, I'll set up, I'll see what it's like, and I'll go in and it's like a ghost town. It's sad. There's like a kid making coffee, and not a kid, but you know, a administrative professional doing a good job at what they do, and you know, they're the only person in the building sometimes. Okay, yeah. That's got to be really hard. I'm sorry to hear that. Well, do you have your project? Is it something I can plug? Not to put you on the spot, but now you've described something that feels worth looking at. Because this isn't just me talking about me. I'm curious what other people are doing. I've looked at other people's Twitch streams recently. I've been learning things. And I don't want to operate in a vacuum anymore. Turn that off. Turn that on. Does your son draw at all? I've known some autistic people who are very artistically inclined. My whole family is, they're not autistic, but they're very neurodivergent. I followed you. Then you might have been a... Because some things that I've done is I've looked into, you know, okay, there's other Twitch streamers, and there were... If there were like someone in the chat who was asking, like, I was like, oh, there's a person here actually asking artistic questions, and you know, I know something about those topics. I was like, okay, maybe I'll follow them, and they'll get the hint, and they'll follow me back and see something curious on my stream. Okay. Okay. Is he like hypergraphic? I forget what the I may have sniped you then as a follower from another artist stream, because I looked at some things and I was like, okay, this guy's great, but you know, the question is getting ignored, and maybe this person might find something a little more not that what I'm doing right now is educational, but I swear when you look at some of the other... You shouldn't necessarily go back and look at my older streams, but everything you've seen here was drawn live and from scratch. Using, you know, I used construction and perspective to all of these things, so... Well, if you do a stream, I'll check it out, okay? I have all my notifications on. Your name doesn't pop up much on my notification list, if at all. So you may not have been streaming. It's okay if you weren't. That is not a thing that we're not all obligated to do that, but I try to give as well as take if I can. Yeah. No, do you know why I'm streaming at... Well, I got up at 4 a.m. because I have 2 small children and I can't get anything done during the day. So, got my early night's sleep, got up at 4 a.m., did this, not saying this applies to you, and so my kids are 7 and 4 years old, and my daughter, she's had her own serious health issues in the past that hopefully are resolved now, but the both are tracking as normal, though my daughter seems to have the art bug, And she'll go through periods where she'll just be unstoppably drawing and making books and writing stories and writing letters. Good reader, great writing, great handwriting. She's been teaching herself cursive, which is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I'm doing... Here's where I am with the streaming stuff is I'm fully in a mindset now where I'd rather be doing this than my quote-unquote full-time job, which isn't full-time. I'm a freelancer. But I've decided I like this better because... Or maybe not better, but I really like having it to offset the deficiencies of my day job. Because I don't get the validation in adequate proportions from what I do for money. It'd be nice if I did, but people pretty much just care about deadlines, and there's no time for anybody else for quality control. So here's a project where I can decide for myself how nice I want to make something look. And it doesn't have to cut into the time that I spend with my family, and it doesn't have to come at the cost of my sleep or my health. And it doesn't need to. I found myself happy to get up early to do this. I didn't have to force myself at all. And very pleasant chats with people like you, Malexa, is part of it. This is I've been isolated since COVID from in real life artistic community. And I'm not the only one. Recently, other storyboard artists in my area, and I live in and work in Los Angeles. We all just kind of snapped at the same point and said, what the fuck is going on? Can we like get together and get drinks and stuff? So it's been happening more. I, in fact, hosted a party for storyboard artists at my house last month, and we had never met each other. I mean, some of us had met some of us, but I had a crazy party at my house. It was like something came uncorked. People were here till 3 a.m. It was needed. It was important, and it's kicked off something that is good. I don't know if it will yield much, but it really felt nice to connect and commiserate with other artists about problems in the industry and where we're at with it. So it was nice. This stream is a little bit therapeutic for me. There are so many factors that are depressing the industry, and I can't control any of them. Any of them. And I already have like a great agent and a great reputation and great clients. So as far as like what I can do to, in that sphere, improve my standing or situation, it's, I don't know. I don't know what it could be. I feel like if I'm gonna grow, it has to be outside of it. I would do something in parallel. like a backup plan or a side hustle. That's what this is. Something that feels that if nothing else was working, maybe I could just shift over here. So the viewers didn't like it much. Were you doing it digitally, or drawing, or were you drawing controversial subjects, or? And I don't have any judgment on any of that stuff. And I could tell you some stories that might be too long-winded for now. I got some and lost others. Also because I couldn't stream as much because I tried to take better care of yourself. Yeah. Yeah, as this, what I'm not worried, but I'm aware that I may become overly preoccupied with success in this realm. So I'm glad it's not feeling like the totality of my artistic ventures. This is, you know, a side plan that I hope works out in the long term, but if it ends up being something that, like, whoa, this ended up getting out of hand and I don't like it anymore, or people don't like it, and what's the point? I can ditch it pretty easily. Hage, what's up, man? So you're doing digital. Were you taking on commissions and finding that stressful? I'm just curious. And it's always okay to take a sabbatical. I mean, if you're a mom in your situation, you can't just take a sabbatical from everything, unfortunately, but you absolutely have to focus on personal and mental health. I have my own issues. I have a drinking habit I'm trying to get past, and other bad habits that, in a way, are helped offset by the stream because I have an improved sense of self-worth from this outreach, and also the fact that pretty much I have to do this so early in the morning means I go to bed earlier, and then I'm not up late with no willpower left, succumbing to my bad habits. If I get up super early, well, it's like, yes, one way or another, I have to do this while my kids and wife are sleeping. If I do it super late, then I'm going to be tempted to drink a bottle of wine. Oh, there it goes. There's that bug. Let's see. Can it go away? Please go away. There it is. It went away. Huh. Let's see here. Not really have a good view of it. Like, I never did it, but I'll try and see what that works. Yeah, I understand. I'm sure that's very isolating. We've had this was pre-COVID, just right before COVID. Essentially, my daughter, who was 21 years old. And she was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And that was a serious, serious fucking shit to go through. And that was like an atomic bomb exploded in my house. Yeah, it was so incredibly, it was so weird and surreal because everything in my life was just nuked. Just absolutely, like, what? How did this, what do you even do, you know? And of course, it's like, we went into the hospital one day and then found out what was going on and then didn't leave the hospital for like 2 months or something like that. And then even when we did, it was right on back after a week. And then basically we lived at the hospital for the better part of 2 years. Yeah, like that was, it's like, I guess it's fairly common to have know or experience cancer, but that was my first time like really knowing someone who had cancer. It was my own kid, and it was all up front, all very, very, there was like no way to get away from it. Had to, and I'm not like a super brave or heroic person, so it forced, or at least previously I was not, but it forced a lot of growth, becoming comfortable with being uncomfortable, and then through it all, I had to keep working because we were down in income by half. Oh, Jesus Christ, now I'm feeling bad for you again. But yes, the like medical health issues, it trumps everything. You can't, you know. But it also, she's doing good now. She went through, she had stage 4 neuroblastoma, which is a very, very, very aggressive form. But she survived the treatments, which is a good indication. And then her scans have been good, and we're just hanging in there. So yeah, good. I'm glad to hear about that of your folks as well. And yeah, she's good. Like if she was here, you'd be like, oh, she looks perfect, and she is. But yeah, it's never far from my mind what can happen, and why you have to not take things for granted. Take your health for granted. Take people for granted. You never know how long we have. All right, I'm gonna do that. I do that anyway. I hug her every day and everywhere. Yeah. Yeah, we were, and we were sort of conditioned to expect her to essentially be very much so special needs. And, of course it's like, you understand it at that point. Like, you're like, of course, how couldn't she be? Well, she's been doing well. She goes to normal school, does normal stuff, does soccer, karate. About the only thing is that she's a little undersized for her age. Not too dramatically, but she's definitely like the smallest kid in her class. But she's also the most popular kid in her class. So yeah, and everybody has them, I guess that was something I learned too, which is we all go through things and then more or less cover them up ourselves, hide it with grace, and move on. move on just to move on. But I'm not like that. I don't move on. I harbor all the trauma. It's all in my head and suffering. So I have my issues, but it's okay. Life in the day-to-day these days can be fun, and it's not that dramatic anymore. It's just me whining. I'm just here whining now. Anyway, a little bit of an overshare, but whatever. We're all Twitch buddies. My buddy Hage is in the chat, and he is in Japan. His kids just went to sleep, if I'm not mistaken. So he's working on his comic book project. Anyway, I'm really happy to have a couple of artists in the audience, because that's initially everybody was just a friend of my brother's who they are very supportive. But essentially, I'm trying to be like an art stream for artists, not so much friends and family. So. Malexa, where are you based? Are you American? You don't have to be, obviously. I was just curious. The whole phenomena. You're in Portugal. That's fascinating. You're the only person I've met, or I guess I don't know how to say it. And I've been to Europe a couple times, never to Portugal. It's very cool. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the stream. Are you familiar with Zelda? Is this of any interest to you? The topic? Not so much that I would change it at this point, but the it's not super crazy, but I'll have to okay, yeah. Zelda has been announced to become a live-action movie. And of course, it's based on a video game property, and I was discussing this earlier in the chat, but I do that type of stuff. So for me, this doesn't feel too much of a long shot to sort of put my name out there, throw my name in the hat, say, hey, if you need a storyboard artist, you can call me. Here's my Zelda portfolio, for instance. It doesn't feel like an impossibility, and that would be on my bucket list. There is, even beyond my own standing as a professional, there was a Zelda cartoon a long time ago that my dad was a writer for. He was a writer on the original Zelda cartoon. And as such, he had in his possession, like for instance, like he went out and bought a Nintendo and the Zelda game so he could, do research on the topic. And so he played it for a little bit and then said, okay, I get it, and then he gave the Nintendo to me. So then I had the Zelda Nintendo game and stuff like that. And I was like 5 years old. I didn't know what to do was just playing it, dying and having fun. It was a cool thing then. I became obsessed with Zelda. My dad made me this, which I found in my old bedroom. This is the shield that Link had, and like this, obviously it's like worn to shit, but at one point this was like a silver looking plywood shield that he made handmade that used to have a handle. He made me a sword, and I used to cosplay as Link as like a 5-6-year-old. Okay, so you're the real first artist. That's tough ground to break. I come from a family of artists. My mom is a storyboard artist or she was for like 30 years at Disney. You broke their brains. You broke their non-artist brains. I can imagine that being... like, Mom, Dad, I have to tell you something. I'm an artist. And they all like break down in tears. They're like, no, it's true. And the father turns to his wife. This is all your fault. You bought her those pink by numbers. First artist, first vegetarian. Oh. Your grandparents are spinning in their graves, I'm sure. Farmers. Do you still pretty much... Yeah, that's... I can imagine. Yeah, so, you know, I can disclose, actually, since I spilled the beans about my daughter, when I went on vacation in, like, November, October last year, we went to Greece, and it was in celebration of my daughter having clear scans, essentially meaning that she did not have any cancer in her body at that time, which was great. Obviously, it's like a huge celebration. And we wanted to do something big to... Oh, that's cool. When we went to Greece, we went with friends, because my friend is 100% Greek. His parents emigrated here from Greece. We went to his parents' old village, because they both came from the same old village. A place called Skolahari in in Lesvos, which is the fun big island in Greece. It's very much like stone homes. You drive on a dusty road to get there, and it's just like very much like that. Little goats running in the street. Whole place was asleep when we got there at 2 p.m. because they're doing their siestas. Hage, the comic book worm stream, where is that? I'm not sure about. I've had my dabbles in comic book work myself. Is he on Twitch or is he on YouTube? Yeah, I sympathize. I'm a daytime napper myself, so I'm very much a siesta. So I'm born and raised in Los Angeles, so it's very much real where the hot weather is. Dude, it's time to just listen. You don't lie down in the shade during the middle of the day. You're gonna get heat stroke. It's for your health. Okay, I'm gonna look this up. Who's this guy who thinks he can have a cool comic book stream? I gotta check it out. So you streamed with another streamer. Did you do Twitch and he did YouTube, or was that... Do you also have like a YouTube stream, or... I'll check it out. I'm backing up my archives of the Twitch streams to YouTube, as I feel like YouTube is more accessible to people who aren't necessarily hip to streaming culture, but it's also sort of like too accessible. There's sort of like a lot of garbage out there. They are completely different animals, and they don't appear to be converging. It's more like in separation. There's, I got my affiliate letter or whatever the other day, and they're like, click here to monetize, click here to do all this stuff, and and I can see like it becomes sort of this gamification of the and social networkingness of the Twitch platform, which is great. And it's like clearly that stuff works and is good. But I'm a little hesitant to engage in that sort of stuff. You have a couple friends. thousands of followers on TikTok, and he goes live there, and he has a huge audience. Yeah. Yeah. Right. It's like a party where you don't know anybody, I guess, right? Right. And who knows why that is? I mean, there's maybe partly algorithms, maybe just partly tastes or audience demographics. And maybe it's like you do one thing. If you try one thing on a platform, you don't have success, try the same thing on a different platform, and it will be wildly crazy. Interesting. I feel like I don't consider myself old, but compared to probably your average Twitch streamer or viewer, I'm a little older, and I don't even know if that's the case. It's just some preconceived notion I'm bringing to it as a newbie. One thing I'm hoping to be with this venture is a little bit success agnostic, where I don't know. Like, for instance, I have a Instagram where I've been for a few years posting figure drawings that I do. It's like a passion of mine, drawing figure studies. And when I have time, obviously it doesn't pay anything to draw figure studies, or if it does, I haven't figured out a way to monetize that just yet. Maybe I should, but my Instagram on there has like 4,000 followers, but 90% of them are bots, and I have no idea why. And I became very disillusioned with, like, why am I posting to an audience of bots? Like, I didn't do this on purpose. Like, where did this go? Like, you know, and I feel like I like right now that, like, when I'm on Twitch, like, sure, there's like 5 people watching, or 1 person watching, but it's a real person. Like, it's a real person, and not, I want the real people, not the view bots or anything like that. Like that, I'll take 1 real person for like 1,000 fake likes. That's the thing. I don't want artificialness. Here I want the real thing. And that's sort of what I'm talking about when I was saying, is like, I'm really hesitant to, the monetization tabs. They're like, oh, sign up for bits and sign up for this other stuff. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that'll reach the audience and or, you know, encourage interactions and stuff like that. But I almost want this to be a respite from those kinds of things where, you know, I don't know, like if you click over here, you know, maybe it can just be something simpler. Everything in life is so transactional, and I've been very blessed with success on things where maybe I didn't even deserve it. I would rather cede those opportunities to others than insist on them for myself. Or if I do earn them, I'm okay doing it the hard way. Yeah, imagine getting excited over bots, you know? It became a thing where it was like, oh, I'd be like, yeah, look, my audience is growing, and then I'd be like, oh, here's a new follower, and I'd click on them, and they'd be like, 0 posts, 0 friends, following 7,000 people. I'm like, oh, okay. You know, it's sort of hard to get into without treading into stereotypes and stuff. Unfortunately, they're all more or less based in countries on the other side of the world, and, you know, people got to do what they got to do to make a living. Like, they may not even be bots. They could just be people who are literally paid to like things on Instagram, and that sounds like a hard way to go, but you got to do what you got to do, I guess. But I kind of want what I'm doing to feel like it's platform agnostic, like the things that are good about my stream, I don't want them to be inherent to what makes Twitch fun or what makes YouTube fun. If Twitch ever goes away, it'd be nice if people still thought I was worth looking up somewhere else. I don't know how to control for that, but I think by focusing primarily just on drawing and setting a good example and feeling like this isn't maybe feeling like this can be something different. Maybe that can be the way. And I think if anything, just a repudiation of the virality, the obsession with it. It's something we chase. Like in my day job, I work in commercials and advertising. It's something it's the gold mine. You get a commercial to go viral, you've captured lightning in a bottle. It's almost never done. I like this. I'm doing it. I'm sharing it. I'm doing it. Exactly. We're getting close to the end here. excited to say, because this is sort of like the boring, busy work. I'm surprised anybody even tunes in for it all. But it's almost 7 a.m. My wife and kids are gonna be awake. They're happily sleeping in on a American holiday, Memorial Day. Yeah, like I do want to know what the workings are so that I'm like consciously like making choices about what I'm doing. I'm just not just ignorant about stuff I should be doing. Like I guess I'm okay with like turning on, I don't know, there's a commercials button or something like that. Not at this point, because right now I'm just doing boring shit. But the, you know, whatever. I wouldn't mind making a few bucks and seeing what happens. But the, but yeah, I'm gonna be dipping my toes into that stuff cautiously, if at all. I'm not I'm not looking to slap a bunch of commercials onto my thing if I can avoid it. But I do understand that the part of that is to like incentivize people to subscribe, and that is a decent enough goal. But yeah, I don't know. I'm right now focus on the art and the share. Okay, so these are the last couple ones. And I think as I was about to make clear, I'll be finishing the stream in a few minutes as soon as I get this one done. I'll make some breakfast, start the day, and it's been feeling really nice to knock this out first thing in the morning. This must be what it's like to like wake up and go to the gym, and then you feel like you got your hard part done. Everything else is easy, right? Yeah, I think it's I want to be results agnostic in this process. Like I don't monitor, you know, it's like if not for you guys chatting here, I'd never know if anybody was even watching. I do look at results after the fact, like I'm curious, but that's after the fact. It's like, I don't want to know information I can't control anything about. I love this drawing. That fucking demon ass. Oh, ban the bots. Huh. Do I have bots watching me now? Bots in the room right now. I'm like I'm not surprised. But they have to be like view bots, right? I mean, I know it's happened like once or twice where like someone's like, oh, they collect data. Like data on you guys. Or data on me. Oh. Okay. Yeah. What if you guys are bots? Whoa. It's like a Christopher Nolan movie. You guys are just botting me up. It's like a Spike Jonze film or something. All my real friends are bots. Bot blaster. So I guess that's what like moderators are for, right? You can open a chat list up, enter a name. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a biological AI too. So bots that might be watching won't increase my, I mean, I don't want bots. That's all I'm saying, but curious to the extent I should be worried. I've only had like twice a bot come in and say, hey, I can increase your reach, blah, 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 and then you just ban them. It wasn't that big of a deal. I didn't know there might be silent bots watching. Well, like in that case, then, like, I'm super grateful that you guys even chime in on a boring stream because it's, you know, this, okay. And then there was, his name escapes me, but he was earlier. So there's been at least 3 real viewers who have been, they don't affect the view count because of the lurk rule Twitch added. Okay. 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 Okay, that's cool. This is cool. I'm really glad to you guys can tell I don't know anything about this. I'm learning things. Okay, so lurkers who do nothing but lurk all day and never engage are not considered viewers, even if they view something, but they can still collect data, theoretically. They're not outright banned from looking, but they don't count towards anything that would receive ad revenue, for instance. And of course, Twitch would be very proactive about preventing that. Look at this. Last one, guys. Just filling in these little bits. Are you able to emote like via click of a button? That is easy. Like your hands are full, so you can just click emote. Okay, that must be your emote. That's funny. Okay, so then when you guys are posting these funny emotes, those are like your emotes. So now I'm seeing... Well, Alexa, you've got some like parakeet and other types of emotes in the chat. I'm just scrolling up a bit. How come you, Alexa, how come you have a crown? What makes you in your handle? You have a crown. Is that a special thing? She's Twitch royalty, yeah. Princess Malexa. Shut up, peasant. Yeah, not to put you on the spot. I just don't know what it is. Hey, Ham. Of course, it's 10 a.m. in New York. Happy Memorial Day. Ham, I'm about to hop off because it's 7 a.m. My kids and wife are about to get awake, so I'm gonna see Boxer today, so that'll be fun. We can go over, splash around in the pool. All right, this is it. 3, 2, 1. And done. Okay, that's it for today. Yeah, I've been getting up early because it's less disruptive to the family schedule. So. Oh, good. Are you under Malexa on Insta, or is there a special? You can post a URL. I haven't banned that yet. Yeah, I'm just trying to. Yeah, we'll be partying it up like we do. Okay, everybody, click this link and follow Malexa. I can't do it on my computer, but I'll look it up. I'll pull it up here and I'll take a look. Oh, these look cute. Oh, these look excellent. These are the, like, for real emotes. Alright. Prepare to be followed. Awesome. Alright, everybody. I'm going to sign off. I'm tired and now I have to begin my day. I really appreciate everybody joining in. And it was a surprised amount of fun. So that's how art goes. You have to repudiate your older, less impressive work as you acquire new skills. All right. I love you all. Thank you so much. Have a great day.